Hello, everyone. This is Kleros Community Call. Today is Wednesday, September 25, and guess the most important topic for the day is the birthday of a person that embodies what we understand as Web3, a person that is living already in the metaverse. So, Jean, happy birthday! And uh, yeah, you must be probably the number one celebrity of the metaverse. I mean, do you want to say some words um, to the audience?
Yeah, I would like to thank you for the kind words. I don't know when I was born in the metaverse. Only the real one. I need to check my the block explorer and see that.
I mean, I should we say born or minted in your case?
Yeah, minted. I think.
I mean, I'm saying this because I'm sometimes people invite me into like a Telegram group for some discussions, and I see for some reason he's already there. I mean, I don't know how he got there, but I mean, so for some reason, it's like one of the agent Smith that they kind of duplicate everywhere in the digital world. So this is probably, I mean, this is my working hypothesis. I mean, not sure if it's true or not, but that's what it looks like for the moment. Okay. Well, let's get started. Last week we had a quite long call with a lot of content. We had JB explain a bit about Kleros 2.0. As you know, this is the main project we have been working on for a long time at the cooperative. This I mean, we have really explained many times what what it's about and why it's important. Just because it helps us build a product that is way cheaper to use, addressing like lower value use cases, and also because it can um, incorporate a number of research outcomes that we have regarding one person, one vote, regarding different decision-making logics to address different types of use cases where you need ranked options, where you need um, a numeric value for a settlement amount. So lots of different elements that are important for Kleros to become more widely adopted among like more use cases. So this is the goal of Kleros 2.0, and um, lots of the research was already done. Social choice theory, all of the things that William researches. So this will become at some point new modules that will be added to Kleros 2.0 as like add-ons, if you want. So this is how the modularity structure of the court will work. So I'm not going to go again into that because last week JB already explained, and there is the recording, and of course he can explain that better than me. Just to say that we are aiming at having the first version, the first cases of the of Kleros into the new version of the court before DevCon, which is going to be in November. So that's not very much in the future. It's going to be first like a low value cases, consumer type of disputes, um, and then at so the new version of the court is going to be released in a number of in a sequence first, just for low value cases like those that are now in the Gnosis court, and then at some point everything will be migrated to the new version, and then then the new version will Kleros 2.0 will be able to resolve all of the cases that are now in version 1. Okay, so this is the idea moving forward. So if you want to learn more about this, you can check last week call where this is explained in detail. Okay, so that is one thing. Another thing happening this week, having a bunch of conversations in the world of consumer disputes. As you know, this is already working with Lemon for fintech cases. Now we are conducting, in particular with Marcos, some research about how we can replicate this model that we already built with Lemon for dispute resolution in the context of consumer claims into other fintechs, and then after fintechs, other consumer use cases. So there is like two main categories here. So one is what we could call Kleros as a private dispute resolution system, which is a service that is offered to a private company, like in this case Lemon, or could be an insurance company, or could be like e-commerce companies, or could be whatever private company that has a dispute with users. So this is one big category of cases or of use cases, and then the other one is Kleros as a support for decisions done in the public systems. Like, for example, this is where our pilot that we are conducting with the peace judge in Mendoza in Argentina is about. So this is a Kleros as a support tool for decision making in public courts and small claims courts, and Kleros can help decisions to be done faster, cheaper, and help governments deal with the backlog that typically affects public courts, and at the same time giving citizens faster and cheaper dispute resolution. It's not fun if it takes like years to resolve a small claims case in a public court. So Kleros can speed up that process a lot. So in this way, help everyone have more access to justice. So this is what we are working on in the context of what we call Kleros Enterprise. So this is a dispute resolution for companies, governments, and what we are now working a bit also is how can we port this dispute resolution system that we are using in this context for curation cases. As you know, one of the main use cases of Kleros is curation, that is very useful for certification of different companies or different products. This basically we can apply this into like lots of different use cases. For example, our product, the MetaMask Snap, use the Kleros Scout that is in the MetaMask Snap uses Kleros to certify valid Ethereum or blockchain addresses to make sure that these are not scam addresses. So you can submit an address, and then people can verify if this is not an impersonation, if it's not an address that is linked to illegal activities. And then when that optimistic process finishes, then you kind of can earn a badge that certifies that your address is compliant. So you could do this for addresses. You could do this for crypto assets, as Kleros tokens app used to do at the beginning when we launched this in 2019. You could use this for companies. Like, for example, we have Mike from OpenVino that is developing a system that you can use to certify the quality of organic wine. So you claim that your wine is organic. So why will people believe you? Well, because there's certification companies that go and certify the quality, and they send some guy, and the guy checks that you don't use like chemicals, or you don't use processes of industrial process that is unhealthy or whatever. So this is how it has been traditionally done. Imagine doing this in a more decentralized way through Kleros curation, where you don't have like a company certifying your process, but the community can certify that. So this is what Mike is trying to do with the wine industry, what we have been trying to do in, well, the crypto assets industry. One of the questions that people ask, okay, it's easier to do in the context of like Web3 natives, people who can submit their address or their token to this list and then go through the process of being challenged and going to Kleros if they are challenged and all that. But how do you bring this to like more real world use cases? How do you bring this to be like meaningful for wineries who are not crypto natives? How do you use this certification process without them having to go through the process of like buying crypto, learning how the process works, submitting? So the same work we have been doing with Lemon in the sense of building this consumer process where people can solve a dispute without having to learn how crypto works. This we are trying to bring the same logic to the world of certifications, where there's going to be like an intermediary company that offers the certification process or service to customers. Could be in wine industry, could be in any industrial process, could be in fintech, could be in insurance, whatever. And then they take care of all of the process of making the submission, dealing with the challenge if there is a challenge. So we are building this how this system should work in order for Kleros curation to work in these real world use cases, and this could potentially be an agent of transparency and more adoption for all of the certification world that exists in the in lots and lots of it. I know. Think of the ISO norms that you are using today are used for dealing with quality of products. Think of lots and lots of industries have like certifications which can be improved through the process of Kleros curation, assuming we can address the problems that today require people to use crypto. So this is lots of what we are doing currently in the Kleros enterprise, trying to build this system to be easier to use for every day, like normal real world companies and customers. So that was a mouthful. Okay, so this is one important thing of what we are doing these days. I will let now maybe Marcos. Do you have anything to add about curation? We had actually a quite interesting call today about how to use curation for. I cannot say much because it's, I mean, still very early days. But you know how you can use the curation elements for improving how municipalities in Argentina or in everywhere can be more transparent to their users and citizens basically.
Yeah.
So Marcos,
yes. Can you hear me?
Add?
Can you hear me there? Hey, hey.
You're there, right?
Yes. Hello, hello.
Okay. Well, I will let you.
Can you hear me?
With the mic things?
I can hear you,
Maybe
Marcos.
we can go to William before Marcos.
Okay. So everyone is hearing me, but Federico is not hearing anyone, right?
Hey, Federico, we can hear Marcos
listening to what anything I say, or
maybe
it's one of those
you can mute
dreams where you're speaking alone for a long time and there's nobody there.
Can you hear me, Federico? Federico,
am I alone here?
I'll send you a message. It looks like there's an issue with the Twitter Spaces. So, 1 second.
Hello?
1 second, Federico. Okay, so Federico Federico got disconnected. So maybe Marcos, you can go ahead and
Okay.
I'll add Federico back.
Okay. Well, from the BD team, first on Monday, I was giving a presentation in the Buenos Aires University. It was a presentation talking about Kleros, explaining them our use cases. It was really good. After this, well, I think they made a post in LinkedIn and they enjoyed a lot. So it was a really good experience. And university we have been in Argentina. They have been a few this year, so this is good. Then, well, this week we spoke with some Web3 projects. Spoke first with Bondex, that is a network marketplace and is interested in using Kleros for dispute resolution. Then we spoke with Adroid and the Democracy Roots. Those ones I think, were managed by Alex, that is another member from the BD team from France. So maybe another week he can explain. He can tell us more about these conversations he's having. But well, these were again exploratory calls. Then Alex is still working in an article. I think, Jean, we can talk about this, right? About the fair play in an algorithmic world. I think that it's going to be published in this week or in the next weeks. And well, maybe the most important thing is that the document for Mendoza that was approved a few weeks ago. Now we are ready to make the comms about this, so we are going to publish it. I think this week, maybe tomorrow or on Friday, explaining to our whole community what we are doing with Mendoza and what are our projects in the future. This is very important. I think it should bring us more audience. And they also invited us to a very important congress or event that is going to happen in Mendoza on October the 30 and the 31. So I'm going to be there presenting Kleros and what we are doing in Mendoza, more specifically in La Valle. Those are the main important things from the BD team from this week.
I'm back. Can you hear me now? I mean, yeah, you could hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, and now I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, good.
Great.
Good.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
It's like if there is not a bug, then it's not a Twitter Spaces. So
Exactly.
Elon Musk, when are you going to fix this? Okay. So, about the algorithmic fairness, I have been reading, Nexus, but by Noah Yuvalari, and you might have read in the past, maybe Sapiens or Homo Deus. This book, Nexus, is about information networks and how they coordinate, and in particular, how they how AI is going to impact how humans interact and how it's already impacting. And as you know, there is lots of challenges regarding like biases in algorithms, which can have extremely bad results and outcomes in human communities. For example, very famous cases when the algorithms at Facebook were optimized to drive up engagement, and so they kept showing posts to people that were optimized for engagement, and those posts were those where people they would show people things that would make them angry, and so this eventually could have a self-perpetuating dynamic, which can end up in violence, as happened in Myanmar, for example. So there is also this book I read a few months ago. It's called the Chaos Machine, about how these social networks have an impact through automation of what they do to curate our feed based on what they tell algorithm to optimize. They just tell, okay, look, We need to make money. We make more money when we have more people engaging, spending more time in the platform. So, and the algorithm just, when they try to optimize that, they just say, okay, the way to increase engagement is to show people content that make them angry. So just show them that, and then we will make more money. But the problem is that this has very bad, consequences in the context of societies, and it can trigger even civil wars, as happened in Myanmar. So, really interesting book, and also it touches upon a bunch of topics that we have been researching for a while. That is the interaction of algorithms and human decision making. As you know, there is lots of discussions of making algorithmic decisions for lots of things because it's more efficient in many ways. But you always will need like a panel that could potentially review those decisions made by algorithms. That is because of regulatory reasons, because regulation in Europe or the United States require having always a human oversight panel with the ability to revoke decisions made by AI in like loans or in dispute resolution eventually. And it's hard to see how you can like build these panels, in the sense that people will always have and like a incentive to just accept what the algorithm says, in the sense that if you agree with the algorithm, then you are like your job is safe, because if you revoke what the algorithm decided and then something goes wrong, then it's your fault. So people will be biased to just following what the algorithm suggests, and there's been lots of like research about this. For example, in very famous one is in Durham in the United Kingdom. There is this AI system they used to predict people reoffending before being released for in parole proceedings. So, like, let's say the algorithm says that this person should not be released, but you think that maybe after an interview with the person, you think that she changed, so why not give her another opportunity? And then you release her, and then this person reoffends, and then people will ask, why did you just follow the algorithm? Why didn't you follow the algorithm? And now it's your fault, So even in this context where you have human oversight, it's not that evident that humans will have the courage to overrule decisions made by the machines, because there's a lot of liability there. So we think, or I think for now at least, that Kleros can be through the use of these panels of jurors that are like not just one person, this is many people. So the responsibility of not following the algorithm can be diluted between more people. And the fact that jurors can be anonymous, this could potentially help correct some of the biases that can affect us in different ways. I'm also doing a bit of research about this because I see this as a kind of a growing, market for Kleros and humans to well help reduce some of the biases that we are having in this algorithmic world. If you are interested in these topics, I can recommend that you apply to the fellowship, or not fellowship, but yes, you can apply to the fellowship that we are doing now. It's open. The applications are open for people doing research about anything you want about Kleros. One of the topics is these interactions between decentralized justice and AI, but also you can apply to the Oxford grant we are doing. If you want to do a computer science PhD at Oxford and you want to research these topics about Kleros and AI, this could be very relevant. So do apply. I mean, Jean will share the link for you to apply, and this is a fully funded program in computer science at Oxford, working with some of the best in the world about in game theory and algorithmic design and AI basically. And so this could be a really interesting topic for you to research. I don't know why I'm saying this. Oh yeah, I'm saying this because I was reading Nexus, and yeah, just wanted to share this with all of you. Okay, William, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time preparing my upcoming DevCon presentation. So I'm going to talk in a few weeks about number oracles, so oracles that try to produce a number value. If you have decentralized insurance and you determine some partial damages that should be refunded, if you want to have a decentralized marketplace and there are sort of escrow kind of disputes around how much someone should pay and partial compensation for a product that was partially valid and partially damaged or something. These sort of questions about what percentage or what damages, what number should be produced by a system like Kleros are interesting on this game theory level, and that they get to these sort of fundamental questions about how does a shelling point system like Kleros handle disputes that aren't over sort of yes or no questions. And we've done a tremendous amount of research on this over the years. Much of the research we've done is on these sort of discrete kind of questions where maybe you have 3 or 4 multiple choices. You're on you use Kleros moderate for social media moderation, and the choices are things like ban the user, give the user a temporary ban, give them a warning, things that aren't necessarily kind of they're fundamentally not necessarily on a line. They're not only more or less severe, but also different kinds of penalties. But when you have these questions about what should a number value be, you have an interesting take on these non-binary Kleros questions. And we've done lots of research on this over the years. This is some of the first stuff that we did when I was joined in 2018. One of the first academic papers I wrote with Clement years and years ago, looked at these questions. And we thought a lot about this and how it can be compatible with as a module in Kleros 2.0. And for my DevCon talk, I'm going to talk about the history of this problem, sort of where all the research questions have been, what we've learned, how we compare it to other platforms like Chainlink, and what open research questions we'll continue to work on, and for future modules they will be compatible with Kleros 2.0. What things this eventual Oxford student could work on. So there are lots of interesting things there. So I invite you to watch that talk when it's available. So other than that, we our existing PhD students that we already work with, soon we'll have this 3rd PhD student from Oxford. But the 2 existing students are doing interesting things as well. Jamila, who's more of the sort of pure legal research, has just started to stay at Cambridge, and Yan, who's also a legal background but does sort of game theory and mechanism design stuff as well, has done a bunch of behavioral experiments on sort of testing experimentally and in a lab setting some of our thoughts on these sort of non-binary voting system compatible with Kleros questions, and he's analyzing that data and is finding interesting results for an upcoming eventual publication.
Hey, Federico, sorry I muted you before because I thought there was some background noise.
Okay, I'm back now. Okay, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, so lots of things going on from the research perspective. I cannot say much, but we would like to make maybe a conference in the United Kingdom, in a very nice place next year. Just getting these talks started to try to gather all of the community of decentralized justice researchers that are around the world, at least those who do research about mechanism design. We did a conference in the UK in 2020, William, the Leicester one?
Yeah, it was 2020. It was Brexit Day. It was January 31st, 2020.
Exactly. So we did a conference on the exact Brexit day at the Kleros University. So that was more like well, it was. I mean, we were more early days, so it was a bit about mechanism design. There was a bit about law. There was a bit about business. I mean, we had a like Colin Rule come to the conference, so it was super cool. But back then we were like just getting started, so there was not that much specialization in the research about Kleros. So now that we have like a way larger community of researchers, so that we could basically organize one conference for legal aspects, another conference in mechanism design and game theory, another one for business. So and even I would say one especially about moral philosophy, or legal philosophy, because there's so much more like muscle of researchers who have been writing papers about all of these different aspects. So I'm not going to say much more now because we are in the early days of this organization. So just stay tuned. We will announce things as they come. And one last thing from me: if you are going to DevCon, I'm going to host a panel at a side conference called the Parallel Societies Congress, that is going to gather different people like work on decentralized governance, DAO governance. Well, maybe you saw the talks I gave at the two last ETC conferences about how we can improve the DAO governance through learnings coming from, well, some of them, the history of political philosophy, political theory. There are lots of questions about how to structure a division of separation of powers, questions about how to foster a culture of decision making based on respect and empathy. Others about how to use tools like random selection to pick decision makers and to break collusion networks. So a bunch of things from that perspective. So November 11, Bangkok, I'm going to be hosting this very nice panel, and that's just one of the panels. There's going to be like a bunch of more panels. It's a full day, so that we are going to have that. I'm super excited because this is going to be gathering lots of researchers, scholars, and practitioners in the world of decentralized governance. For example, one of them is going to be Audrey Tang, who is the digital minister of Taiwan. Then there's going to be Tom Bell, pioneer in open source legal systems. So, and there's more people coming, and the final lineup is not done yet. So stay tuned. But if you are going to DevCon, November 11, Bangkok, the Parallel Societies Congress. Okay, I think that's it for me. Maybe Jean, you want to give your updates?
Yes, I think. One more thing that maybe you would like to comment on is the article that we published today about disputes in gaming and in esports.
Yes. So, as you know, one of the industries we are researching is esports and gaming. There's lots of disputes happening in online games, and so this is just a new industry. And as more and more people play online, and more people go to tournaments, and there is more and more money at stake in these tournaments, so this becomes like a large deal, a big deal. So we hosted in May a conference at Neuchâtel University about dispute resolution in esports, and so I made a talk there, and it was a full day with other speakers, and many of them lawyers who actually work on dispute resolution in esports. And so the talk was released, I think, a few weeks ago, and then today we published an article I wrote based on that talk. And if you are into gaming and esports, and you would like to learn a bit more about what we see as the future of dispute resolution in this context, feel free to to read that article, which is going to be, I think, very insightful about that. So another thing that we are researching. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I would like to add like a personal comment is that EVE Online, which is one of the maybe at some point it was the biggest MMORPG. Now they are launching a new version that has on-chain automations for I don't know if for the entire game or for part of the game, but basically people can code smart contracts to interact with the game. And I would really like to see someone trying to create a Kleros court in the game, or maybe make commercial agreements in the game that can be penalized or incentivized, because the EVE Online economy, at some point, it was really big, like millions of dollars in assets being well traded, or people making business on the game. So I think that there's a new world to explore in these systems. And well, for my updates, well, we've been published a couple of videos from talks at ETC. Yesterday we published a talk about Seer, which is a new prediction market, well, led by Clement. And we also published some of the Firico talk about history of politics and the case of proof of humanity, which I think it's very, very good talk, especially if you are into DAOs. You probably find some commonalities with your experience. And yesterday we launched a prediction market contest with Foreland. Foreland is a platform created by Polka Markets that is focused on, well, social prediction, which it means it's basically used for it's like prediction markets, but not the people participating. They do not need to put money to make their predictions. They can just participate in the markets, and there are prizes for the best predictions. And we have for our contest, it's for the US elections, and the prizes, the top 100 people, top 100 predictors will get prizes. So it's really worth your time to just join. I think you don't even need a wallet, so you can ask, you can send to anyone that you know that is interested in elections, and they will appreciate that, and they will be participating for winning some PNK that they can later use to join our courts. So if anyone that you know that are interested in being a juror, maybe this is the easiest way to participate. Apart from that, we will probably have some more articles on our blog. As Marcos mentioned, one about AI agents. And the AI agents that actually play on prediction markets. There is now a new front end for Omen prediction markets that maybe was one of the first blockchain-based prediction markets. It's called Presagio, and it's a lot better than the previous versions. And there's even now an incentive for people to correct the answers that the AI give to the events that are being tracked. So I recommend checking our thread that we posted last week on how to do that as well. It's another way of earning in the around the Kleros ecosystem. And I think that's it. Well, one more thing that I think it's very interesting. There was the Network State conference last week, and it looks like Juan Bennett from Protocol Labs, he's one of the main figures promoting crecimiento, this movement in Argentina to incentivize the crypto industry and help this industry to improve the infrastructure of the country and create better processes. So he had a talk in this conference, and it looks like it was very well received. So I don't know, Federico. I cannot say I'm an Argentinian yet, but Kleros was Argentinian before it was cool, right?
I mean, I'm always, I'm Argentinian, so I mean, yeah. Before it was cool to be Argentinian. Actually, when it was very uncool to be Argentinian, I was already proudly Argentinian. And we, I guess, because of so many problems with inflation, currency, bad governance, we were like interested in all of these. I would call them private solutions to, market solutions to coordination problems. Yeah, I mean, that's why so many projects were born in Argentina. Well, Kleros one, but there's others, like Zeppelin, Hard Hat, the Decentralized, and a bunch of the Web3 ecosystem was created in a context that was quite appropriate because of the education of the people and the incentives that were at present at the moment when this industry was starting. I guess that's why so many projects were born in Argentina. Juan Bennett, well, we have known him for a long time. He was one of the founders of Filecoin, and he's at the Protocol Labs. He was also at our conference in Stanford that we did. I don't remember when it was. It was, I think, in April, maybe. Well, it was like early this year. We did a conference, first blockchain governance conference at Stanford. We co-hosted it with the Stanford Blockchain Club, and one of the speakers was Juan Bennett, who he's based in San Francisco. So yeah, it's cool that he spoke about crecimiento in the network state event. I saw some pictures. I didn't watch the talk, but I saw pictures, and it was very very crowded. I guess this is a concept that creates sort of traction, and I think Balaji was very good at posing this idea of network states. Of course, I read the book, and if you have read the book, you maybe noticed that he speaks of Kleros style trials to be one of the main elements of the governance of this network state. So this was a quite nice thing for him to write on the book, because he doesn't say that Kleros is going to be used in the resolution of disputes. He says Kleros style. It's like Kleros already owns this idea or the concept of decentralized justice. So whatever system they use, it's going to be already a Kleros style, methodology. So of course, ideally, it's going to be Kleros itself, but even in the cases when it's not, and maybe it's not going to be in every case Kleros, but it's still going to be a Kleros style system. So that was a really nice thing. Okay, well, if you haven't read the book, do read the network state. It's cool. I don't agree with everything there, but I do agree with most. And if you are into this type of topics, also you can participate into the Parallel Society Congress in Bangkok, November 11, where we will have all of the people who have been working on network states in the same room, basically, in November. So I'm going to be there. And one of the things that also Juan Bennett mentions a lot is the special economic zones, private cities, and how this is going to be more important in the future. And I have been following private cities for a long time. In particular, an experiment that was done in Honduras called the ZIDs. It was cities that were in Honduras, and that the government of Honduras allowed them to have their own legislation and own justice system in order to attract more business and investment to the country. So these private, like charter cities, are going to be according to the prediction of network states, and also from a very old book from the 90s called The Sovereign Individual. This is going to be a more important element in the future of human communities. So all of this is what we are going to discuss November 11 at the Bangkok November in the Parallel Societies Congress. Okay, so that's enough for today. Thank you very much for coming, guys, and well, see you next week.
Bye bye. See you next Wednesday.
Bye bye.
Everybody.
Go on. See you.